Hello and welcome to Lecture 1 Introduction to Sales in Startups and Small Businesses. I'm excited to guide you through the complete process of becoming a successful sales agent in any organization. In today's session, we'll explore the essential skills, strategies, and tools you'll need to excel, from understanding our product and target customers, to closing deals and building lasting relationships. By the end of this training, you'll have a clear action plan and the confidence to hit your sales targets. So, let's get started. Now let's talk about why sales are so important. It's simple. No sales means no revenue, and no revenue means no business. You could have the best product or service in the world, but if no one is buying, it won't survive. Sales are what bring in cash flow, and cash flow is like oxygen for a business. Without it, the company can't pay salaries, invest in growth, or even keep the lights on. But sales aren't just about money. Every sale is also a chance to build relationships and trust with customers. When people buy from you, they're showing faith in your product, your brand, and you as a salesperson. And finally, sales are proof that your product works in the real world. It's market validation. If people are paying for it, it means your product or service truly solves a problem. So remember, sales are not just a department, they are the heartbeat of any business. Now let's talk about sales in startups versus big companies. The approach can look very different depending on where you work. In startups and small businesses, the biggest challenge is usually a limited budget. You might not have big ad campaigns or fancy CRM systems. Instead, you're relying on creativity, personal connections, and speed. The team is often small, so everyone wears multiple hats. And because resources are tight, you need quick results. You can't wait 6 months to see if something works. On the other hand, big companies have a completely different setup. They have an established brand that customers already trust. Their sales force is larger, often spread across multiple regions, and they have dedicated teams for every stage of the sales process. Plus, they can afford a bigger marketing spend, meaning campaigns can run for months, with huge budgets behind them. Here's the key takeaway. Sales in a startup is like running a sprint, fast, scrappy, and flexible. Sales in a big company is more like running a marathon, planned, consistent, and backed by resources. Both require skill, but the way you execute is very different. Alright, now let's talk about something that every beginner in sales needs to understand: the myths about sales. These are beliefs that hold people back from being great at what they do. And trust me, if you believe these, you'll be stuck before you even start. Myth number 1: sales is only about talking. False. The best salespeople are actually the best listeners. You win deals by understanding what the customer truly needs, not by talking non-stop about your product. Myth number 2: good products sell themselves. False again. Even the best products in the world need a sales strategy, communication, and positioning. If Apple or Coca-Cola still spend millions on sales and marketing, you can be sure your product needs it too. Myth number 3: sales is pushy. No, real sales is about solving problems and creating value. If you're genuinely helping someone, you're not pushing, you're guiding. Myth number 4: you must be extroverted to sell. Not true at all. Introverts often make great salespeople because they tend to be better listeners and more thoughtful in their approach. So, forget these myths. Sales isn't about tricking or pushing people. It's about helping them make a decision that improves their life or business. Alright, let's talk about the sales mindset. This is where many people either fly or flop. First, be customer focused, not product focused. A lot of salespeople make the mistake of talking too much about their product. You know, like that one uncle at weddings who tells you the entire history of his knee surgery when you just asked, "How are you?" Instead, focus on the customer. Ask questions like, "What challenges are you facing? What's your main goal right now?" If you understand them, you can position your product as the solution, not a random item you're pushing. Second, think value first, sales second. If your customer feels you're genuinely trying to help, the sale will happen naturally. It's like making friends. You don't start the conversation with, "Hey, will you lend me money?" You first build trust, then the transaction follows. Third, learn to handle rejections positively. Rejection is part of the job. Even the best salesperson in the world hears no more than yes. Think of it like a gym workout. Every no is just you building your sales muscle. If someone rejects you, don't take it personally. Sometimes the timing isn't right, or they simply don't need it. Keep the door open for future conversations. Finally, consistency is more important than talent. You don't need to be the Shah Rukh Khan of sales. You just need to show up, follow up, and keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Many sales are lost not because of lack of skill, but because the salesperson gave up too soon. Remember, a dripping tap can fill a bucket, but only if it keeps dripping. So, the golden rule: focus on them, provide value, accept rejection with a smile, and keep going like it's your favorite Netflix series. You never stop after one episode. Now, let's walk through the sales process from start to finish. The first step is prospecting. This is where we identify potential customers who might benefit from our services. Think of it as finding the right seeds to plant. Next comes approaching, making the first contact with those prospects. This is your moment to create a great first impression and build initial trust. Then we move to pitching, presenting our offer in a way that connects with their needs and highlights the value we bring. This is where your preparation and product knowledge really shine. Of course, prospects may have concerns, so the next step is handling objections, patiently and confidently addressing any questions or doubts they raise. When they're ready, we proceed to closing the sale, getting a clear yes, and finalizing the agreement. Finally, we have after-sales service, following up, ensuring customer satisfaction, and building long-term relationships. This is key for repeat business and referrals. Remember, sales isn't just about making one deal. It's about building trust and creating lasting value for customers. Now, let's talk about some of the unique challenges that startups face when it comes to sales and marketing. First, low brand recognition. Unlike established companies, we don't have a reputation that speaks for itself. This means people don't automatically trust us yet, so building credibility becomes our first big hurdle. Second, limited marketing reach. As a startup, our budget and resources are often smaller, which limits how far and wide we can promote our brand. Every marketing activity has to be strategic and cost-effective. Third, the need to educate the customer. Many times, our product or service is something new, different, or innovative, so we can't just sell. We have to teach the market why they need it, how it works, and why it's worth paying for. And finally, competing with established brands. These brands have bigger budgets, established trust, and a loyal customer base. To compete, we have to be more agile, more creative, and more personal in our approach. These challenges might sound tough, but they also force us to be sharper, smarter, and more innovative than big companies. When it comes to startup sales, your approach matters just as much as your product or service. Let's break down 4 keys to success that can make a huge difference. Leverage personal networks. In the early days, your personal and professional connections are your strongest asset. Friends, family, ex-colleagues, LinkedIn contacts, these people already know and trust you. Reach out to them personally, not just with a generic pitch. A warm introduction will always open more doors than a cold call. Focus on niche markets. Instead of trying to sell to everyone, find a niche where you can dominate. Specializing means less competition and more trust from potential customers who feel you understand their unique needs. For example, if you're selling accounting software, instead of targeting all businesses, start with a niche like small retail shops or freelance designers. Offer exceptional service. When you're a new player, people remember how you made them feel. Go the extra mile, respond quickly, deliver more than promised, and treat every client like your most important client. Exceptional service not only retains customers but turns them into ambassadors for your brand. Use low-cost digital tools, social media, email, CRM. You don't need a huge marketing budget. Use free and affordable tools like social media platforms for brand building, email marketing for personalized outreach, and CRM tools to track leads and follow-ups. Consistency in using these tools is more important than spending a fortune on ads. If you master these 4 keys, you'll not only close more sales but also build a loyal customer base that keeps coming back and brings friends along with them. Let's look at a quick real-world example. This is a story of a small bakery in a quiet neighborhood. Initially, they struggled to bring in customers, and they thought the only way to grow was to spend on expensive advertising, which they couldn't really afford. Instead, they changed their approach. They started participating in local events like weekend markets and community fairs. They also began posting behind-the-scenes videos on Instagram and Facebook, like how they decorate cakes, or short clips of fresh bread coming out of the oven. Within just 6 months, their sales doubled, without spending big on ads. The main reason? They built a personal connection with their audience, and the community started talking about them. This shows how sometimes, focusing on targeted, cost-effective strategies can be far more impactful than pouring money into traditional advertising. So the key takeaway here is, creativity plus community engagement equals growth, even with a small budget. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the key points from today's session. First, sales are the lifeline of any startup. Without sales, even the best ideas will fade out. Second, mindset matters more than technique. If you believe in your product and approach sales with confidence and persistence, the results will follow. Third, follow a clear process. Having a step-by-step sales approach helps you stay consistent, measure progress, and improve over time. Finally, build trust, not just transactions. Sales are not about one-time deals. They're about creating relationships that bring repeat business and referrals. If you keep these 4 points in mind, you'll already be ahead of most salespeople out there. Thank you all for your time and attention on this course. I hope you found these insights useful and, more importantly, actionable. Remember, sales success isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter, understanding your audience, and delivering value every time you engage with them. In our next session, we'll dive into the key traits that top-performing sales agents share, the mindset, habits, and strategies that consistently set them apart from the rest. If today was about the how, next time will be about the who, and how you can develop those winning traits yourself. Until then, keep applying what you've learned, and remember, every conversation is a potential opportunity. See you in the next lecture.